What's up, guys? Another episode of the U Spray podcast with Mitch and Toddy. We have had a few weeks off, but we are back bigger, better than ever. I was actually away for a couple of weeks. I went over to Europe with my wife and our good friends, and the kids stayed at home with my mum. Shout out to Sue, the goat, for looking after the kids for 10 days. But yeah, went to Greece and Rome, which was awesome. Big thank you to Toddy and Jess and Mark for holding down the fort. But
Two busiest weeks of the year.
yeah, 100%. It did get busier while away. So thanks for the support, guys. Made me feel pretty lonely when I got back. Look, it could be in conjunction with the warm weather and everyone's starting to come out. But yeah, good to be back after a couple of weeks off. And, you know, in that time, we've had plenty going on. Yeah, I mean, what a good part of the year, you know. The sun's out, we're about to hit daylight savings, things are warming up, we're on the back end run to the year. I mean, you know, good time for sport too. Like, something you might not know about Toddy and myself, we love our sport, we love throwing out banter. I am, you know, huge on American sports, my wife being American, Toddy obviously being American as well. So, you know, there's a lot of NFL going on at the moment in the week 4. I'm a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, and Toddy is a massive Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Yeah, he's a diehard fan, so it's pretty hard being a fan for them for a long time. So, how did you end up going for the Jags anyway?
I was actually living in Jacksonville as a kid when they become a team.
Okay.
Which is pretty, you know, rare and unusual. So it's kind of hard not to be a fan if you've been there since day one. You know?
Yeah.
Most of my family are pretty diehard Jacksonville Jaguars fans, but most of the women got, you know, converted by their partners, so they kind of lost their way. But
yeah,
the men were loyal.
And what about college football? You're a Utah guy, eh?
Florida State Seminoles.
Oh, Florida State. Let's go.
Most of my siblings are University of Florida Gators fans.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
cool.
There's a bit of banter there, but
Yeah, no, they're normally thereabouts. They're not doing too great this year, I don't think. But yeah, college football's pretty cool. It's on during the day here in Oz, and then obviously early Monday morning you got NFL. So yeah, no, it's been a good start in that, and obviously NRL going on. We're in finals at the moment. I know you being from Brisbane, I mean, you know, the Broncos back-to-back hard, you know, tough, resilient wins, which, you know, I think Broncos have been a side that's been very up and down, you know, over the you know, the last few years. They look like they can win the comp one week and then they'd have a lapse against one of the lesser teams the week after. But it's good to see. Obviously good for Brisbane, and that's off the back of them winning the AFL last week. Yeah, the Lions last week. So yeah, plenty going on for Brisbane. I mean, I haven't seen the stats, but Saturday Brisbane Lions grand final win into Sunday Broncos win. I would love to see the sick leave in Brisbane on Monday of this week.
That would have been plenty.
Yeah, I reckon it would have been pretty high. So, you know, Queenslanders love their sport, and especially in Brisbane. So I'm sure everyone would have got out and about with that. Yeah, that's good. And what else we're going to cover there? Oh yeah, and also NBA is about to kick off as well. You know, as we said, we're big American sports fans. So NBA kicking off soon. I'm a big time Lakers guy. Yeah, love my Lakers. And Toddy is a Utah Jazz fan. So yeah, once again, tough slog for the Jazz. But hey, they've got some good young players at the moment. Hopefully they can make something happen.
Next year's draft, they have like 13 drafts from all the drafts they picked up over the last few years.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, right.
Sure to see a few moves over the year or come trade deadline?
Yeah, well, there's been some teams in the past that have hoarded a lot of draft picks, OKC being one of them. They were laughed at, for a while there, and they won a chip last year. So young picks, great talent, good coaches makes a huge difference. So yeah. And then following on from that, we have some news with distributors. We've got 2 new distributors that have come on board the last couple of weeks, and that is Inspirations in Cabramatta and also Inspirations in Dural. So if you're looking for any of our gear or equipment, please go in, see those guys. They can sort you out, and as always, we appreciate the support that we get, not only from them but all our distributors and painters across Australia and the world. We do hear from painters all around the globe, which is really, really cool to interact with them about all things spray in the paint industry. So yeah, but we did have the other week, we had a stand at the Home Show in Brisbane, which Toddy manned with some help from an applicator of ours that we have up in Brisbane, who supports us heavily. So he was there to give us a hand. Shout out to Jasper. Give us a breakdown. How was it? What was different this year? And how were the interactions?
Yeah, it was real good actually. It felt a bit more busy than the one we did in February, but man, it was a masterstroke bringing Jasper there as an applicator to do roof restorations, because man, a lot of the time that felt like it was a roofing expo. The amount of inquiries and quotes we got out of the day. Jasper and his company Lock Roofing should do fairly well out of that, I would say, which obviously we benefit from, and our partners at IRC will benefit from as well. But yeah, a lot of great engagement on the new PIY Paint It Yourself machine. I've already been out doing a bit of training with some of the guys that bought. Yeah, it's been it was awesome.
Yeah, cool. So just more about our PIY machine too. It's retail for $1,000, and online and in our distributors you will find it cheaper, but it's a great machine. Tell us, you are the machine guru. Tell us a bit about the machine, why it's a good machine, why people should consider possibly buying one.
Yeah, so we went with the one that we went with. We went with the PIY on purpose, because from my experience as in a sales position, you do find a lot of painters that are interested in entering into spray will go with a cheaper unit, and the problem with that is most of them are an old style single acting piston, which aren't very effective, not very efficient. They don't last very long. Oftentimes require thinning. And so we went with this one because it's the double displacement pump, which is what most trade machines are, which are way more efficient. They can draw up thicker products easier. The pumps last way longer, way more versatile. In this case, it's nice and light. It's like 12 kilos. But we did it because we just know that, painters, oftentimes, everyone's looking to save a bit of money. So we know some guys are going to pick it up for those small jobs, try to use it. We did all of our testing using roof membrane. We're obviously not going to sell it to guys to spray roof membrane, but we know that if guys pick it up to spray a nice thick, acrylic render product or something like that, it'll definitely do the job for them. And it's going to last a long time for them. And, it's great for those guys that want to do the one, have it as a dedicated enamel gun or finishing gun.
Yep.
Yeah, absolute weapon of the machine.
Yeah, so guys that aren't, familiar with the machine as yet, that may, use other competitors' machines. What kind of machines is it comparable to for people when they're looking at buying it?
If I had to make a comparison, it'd be almost as good as like a 3.20 Wagner machine. Probably the closest thing in the Graco range would be like a GX19, but that was the old style single acting piston, so this would definitely outperform it. Being a double displacement pump,
you find those machines for about a couple of grand.
Couple grand, yeah.
Yeah, so wow. So that's
$1,000, pretty good price for it.
Yeah, 100% performance wise.
Yeah.
And what is the best thing about a double displacement pump compared to a single displacement pump?
Well, essentially, it's just more efficient. So it transfers fluid on the up and on the downstroke. So you essentially get twice as much out of one cycle, which is, so it obviously doesn't have to work as hard, lasts longer. Being a double displacement pump, the packings tend to last way longer. So on some of those smaller machines, you can expect sort of 400 or 500 liters before the pump starts to go. This will go, 1,000, 2,000 liters, no dramas.
Okay. And will you get the fluctuation like you get like on a GX19?
Nah, you do. I mean, there probably is a bit of deadband, but one of the benefits of it is that because it is cycling so quick, it's always kind of running. And because it's such a small pump and it's activating so quick, the GX19 is the same. Like you get good flow because it's working harder and quicker, so it doesn't take a lot of time sitting. But you can tell even when we're doing those trials with the roof membrane, it doesn't work very hard. It's just such a good machine. I rate it so well.
And half the price of those comparable machines. So yeah, guys, if you want to give it a try or even see a demo of one of them, let us know. It's a perfect little machine for DIYs, but painters, ones that want a light machine to take in and out. I know guys are huge fans of some of the portable machines out there, but this is lightweight, it's easy. Yeah, and if you do a bit of oil basing, stuff like that, and you want a smaller machine, it's ideal for that kind of stuff as well. And how did you go? Did you get a lot of interest from that DIY market when you're at the home show as well? Obviously, you spoke about people were interested in getting their roofs done with Jasper. What about the PIY machines?
Yeah, man, we had a lot of. I think the biggest, the common denominator of what they loved was the fact that we offered training behind that. So guys, it's wild to me. I don't know. I'm assuming you've experienced this, but I find, home renovators, people looking to do some projects around the house, seem to be a bit more keen to give it a crack than most painters. Obviously, because it's not gonna. The risk of cost of money on a job versus your own home is a bit different, but and once you introduce or advise them that we're doing training, it just for them it takes away all the guesswork. And essentially one of the guys, Alex, he just trained me before. He was doing a house down in Yamba, so full internal for full external, and so they came in last week and we spent a couple hours with them, showing them how to use it. They're super excited, and they're going to save a fair bit of money at their beach house. Versus getting someone to come in and, charge them a fair bit to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it feels like that DIY sector is just getting, busier and busier too. Like there's obviously the block and those kind of things that were going there for, have been around for a while that got people excited about doing their own renos and that. But, the cost of living is playing a big factor. Like, being an applicator over time, when I've come across people getting quotes and they've decided to do it themselves, it's not like they don't want us to do it or our price isn't reasonable. It's the fact that they don't have the money or money's tight and they need to save money somewhere. And unfortunately, they're not going to back themselves to plaster stuff or put in doors and those kind of things when they're doing renovations. But, having a crack at spraying some outdoor furniture or some ColourBond fences, those kind of things, they're going to have a crack at to try to save some money. So
and when you think about it, like all of the paint is sold at Bunnings. I don't know what the split is, but it would be, if it's not half of all paint sold at Bunnings, it wouldn't surprise me. It's the market's there already. It's not like we're introducing a new thing to painters. Like obviously when I was working at Wagner, our biggest customer was Bunnings because they sell heaps of them. So there's definitely a market there for that. And so it's not like we're having to crack at painters or anything like that, but it's just there's a massive market there for DIYers. Everyone feels a bit proud when they do this stuff themselves, and that's one of those things that you can kind of do yourself without a license or approvals or anything like that. And, if you're conscious, I guess you can get a really good job.
Well, at the end of the day, the way I've looked at it, it's like, look, some painters get upset about, when it comes to DIYs and saying, by them doing it, they're taking away work from them and whatever, which I don't believe. And I've found at the end of the day, like if they're doing it themselves, they can't afford the paint job. And it's either you drop all the money out of your quote and you might get it, or they're going to do it themselves anyway. So it's like, go broke at home.
Yeah.
instead of dropping your price. But unfortunately, it is something that, not to say that they do a better job than painters, but it's something that they can get away with, and they're happy to with that their paint job. But everyone's got to save money somewhere. But I've never sort of understood that when painters get upset by that. I'm like, mate, if they're doing it themselves, there's no way they were going to get a painter to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they can't
100%.
afford it, so it's, yeah. And I mean, it's not for everyone. Like, heaps of people, I hear people all the time say, I hate painting. No way. Like, I would never do it. And, as a painter, I enjoy doing it. There's nothing better than turning the radio on site, working with a few staff, and just getting heaps of work done, having a laugh, and they're the sort of best days. Or even putting my AirPods in and just spraying out. There's something therapeutic about it. But some people say that they can't do it. It's like roofers and concretes. I could never paint stuff doing that. I'm like, mate, I can never be a concrete or a roofer. So each to their own. But yeah, pretty funny. Yeah. So yeah, cool. So overall, home show was good. Yeah. Anything else to add on that? Was there more or less booze than there was in February? Or
I mean, I didn't really have a good look last time because we were busy then. This time, real close to the end, I would have had a quick look, and there would have been, probably around the same amount.
Yeah.
Different sort of, I guess, projects on display.
Mhm.
A lot more internal furniture stuff here, beds and whatever. But whereas the last one was a bit more project orientated.
Yeah. Okay.
For externals, I think, which is probably why we saw more paint people there last time.
Yep.
But it was, it was good. I mean, we met a lot of cool people there. Jasper met a real estate agent. Looks like he's going to get all the roof restorations going forward, so that's awesome. And we met a few hire mobs that were going to take on our machines as hire machines. So that's awesome. So it's like, that's another thing too. Like, from a networking point of view, you meet people that you just never would have met.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's awesome. So now we're going to dive into a hot topic. I've seen, a lot of people talk about it, and, we want to give our take on it. Look, it's not for everyone, but, this is our philosophy and what we think. And that's repacking a pump versus fully replacing the pump. And we want to dive into that. Like, I know a lot of guys love to get their pumps repacked, which is, replacing the piston, getting the packings done usually, and not replacing the cylinder or anything else. And instead of replacing the pump fully, which is a little bit more expensive. Toddy, can you talk a little bit around why at the Spray Gun Club we don't do repacking of machines, and will replace the pump, and why we think that's a better option?
Yeah, so there's a couple reasons. The first one was when full disclosure, this might surprise a few people, but in my servicing career,
Nothing surprises me with you, bro.
So in my servicing career, I have repacked, from a Graco point of view, maybe 3 machines, from a general contractor point of view, which surprises a lot of people.
That is surprising.
Because I'm a service agent, you're supposed to do it. And the reason why I didn't do it was because...
So you didn't get someone else to do it?
No.
No. Right.
I do the work, kind of scared.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah.
But, so when I first went to go work for Dulux as a service center, I went through training. And first training was repacking a piston pump. And as part of it, you obviously take it apart, give it a clean, disassemble it. And what you're supposed to do is actually check to see if there's any noticeable wear on the sleeve, which is the cylinder around the outside of the machine where the piston kind of helps hold the pressure in. And I remember reaching my finger in there to feel it, and it's like you could feel a little bump where you could tell it's been rubbing against for a long time and worn out. Nothing major, but it was obviously it was there. So I remember asking, like, are we actually supposed to repair that or replace it? And he reaches and feels, oh, that's pretty good. I'd repack that. I remember thinking, like, really? Like, there's no way that's going to last as long, because, factory packed, it's a certain size, and it's worn a mil, maybe 2 mils, maybe not that much, like enough to where you can feel it. There's no way it's going to last as long. And so my thought was, if I repack this, I can't leave a warranty on it because I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know what the matrix is for how, how much wear there is. And so at the time, I worked out that it was going to cost us like, it'll cost the customer, I don't know, $400 to repack it, because you got to charge them the labor or whatever, or charge them $500 just to replace the pump. So from my point of view, it was like, even if we don't make as much money, to them, it's not going to cost a lot much more. I'll just whack a new pump in it because I know two things. One is, I know it's going to last as long as it's ever going to last because it's all factory packed brand new. But two, it removes any human error from my end. The amount of times you go in there and, you might have forgot to put the inlet ball back in the piston or whatever, which is easily fixable, but it's like just a waste of time for everyone. And you got machines backing up. So for me, it was like, once I determine that needs to be rebuilt, never do it again. Because from a customer's point of view, it's just a better experience. And no one wants to come back a month later saying, you just fixed this, it's playing up again. So that was the first reason why I did it. And which makes sense. And once that's explained to people, you just bring them in and feel that. You really want me to repack that? No. It's like, see, it's like, it's obvious. It's common sense, really. It's actually, in my opinion, it's a bit of a disservice to the customer to repack it because you'll never get the life out of it. So you're kind of setting them up for inconvenience because it's already inconvenient coming in the first place.
Were you setting them up to come in and repack it again and charge them again?
Yeah. That might be.
Did I say that out?
That might be a benefit. I don't know.
That's what I was just thinking.
So the other reason why I started doing it was because at the time I was working for Dulux, and number one priority is sell more paint. Okay, so my thought process was, this machine's here, and we had 4 weeks to turn it around. We were so busy, and it was like, that's 4 weeks that's however many painters, 40, 50 painters that aren't painting right now. That doesn't seem like that's beneficial to anyone. And so what I found, which we've discussed before, was the vast majority of machines don't actually need anything done. And so that's why we started doing training in the first place, was to educate people on do this, 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 this. If it doesn't work, if it still doesn't fix it, probably will. But if it doesn't fix it, then bring it in. Because then, at least I'm not going to take advantage of you and repack it when it doesn't need it. And two, at least it's not going to be done today. So you can plan ahead instead of praying and hoping to the spray gods that it's going to get fixed. And so that's a benefit. But from our point of view, it takes 5 seconds to determine, most of the time, not always, but for the most part, you can tell within 5 to 10 seconds if the pump needs a rebuild. So my thought process is, and we were doing this, even if you don't need a repack, even if you don't need a full rebuild, and if I asked you and you said, no, I just want you to repack it because you'll save $100, I'd tell the guys, just whack a new pump in it. We won't make as much money right here, but what will happen is they'll be back up and painting again. That's better for everyone. We still paint. We're a paint shop, and they'll love us, and they'll always come back to us. And it's like, that builds loyalty because it's like, bro, I got you. You never have dramas with us. So that's why I do it, because I try to put myself in their position, and there's no way waiting a day, 2 days, a week, several weeks, 6 weeks, however long. Some of these places are ages. It's like, there's no way that's, the stake of $100 is worth that to anyone. It's like, bro, if you can have us back today, but it costs you an extra $100, absolutely, bro. I got 2 guys waiting to brush and roll. What are you talking about? Why are you even asking? And guys used to come in all the time, bro. If I can get it back today, I'll pay $500 extra. And it's like, you don't have to do that, but it's like, light bulb. That's what's important to them because it costs them so much money.
Time is money. Everyone understands that,
bro. And then it's like, Dulux, you're selling paint. I don't know. To me, it's just common sense, and it's some people are money focused, which is fine, and price driven. But it's like, I'm not here to help you, man. I'm here to help the guys that truly get it and are making, a difference in the industry. And it's like, it's no good for any of us them not spraying, them not painting. So for me, it was a matter of, bro, it might cost you an extra couple $100 to get this done today, but it's not going to cost you $1,000 a day by not spraying and the stress that comes along with that. So that's why I did it.
Yeah, and also coming back in and having to pay for it to get repacked again. And one of the what compelled us to start talking about this too is we actually had a guy come in the shop yesterday afternoon, and he said, "Oh, mate, I've got a an Ultra 795, right? And he said, can you repack it for me? And I said, mate, sorry, we don't actually repack the machines. We only do pump replacements. And he's like, oh, okay. Why's that? So anyway, I already had a pump and a cylinder out. And I said, this is the reason why, and went through it. And he goes, oh, that makes heaps of sense. I said, no one's ever said that to me. And I said, yeah, like, it's interesting me. Can you feel that? And he's like, yeah, I can. And he said, well, okay, like how much more is a pump replacement? I said, well, you know, it's usually a couple of $100 more than what you're after. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, like how long will that take? I said, well, you've dropped it here this afternoon. I said, we're both in the shop today. We're smashing out machines. I said, mate, you'll be able to pick it up in the morning sometime. He goes, you're kidding. And I was like, no. And he just went, man, I wait like weeks sometimes to get my machine repacked. And then like I've got to hire machine or borrow someone, so I'm losing money there. So like the repacking plus that, like I spend way more than that. And then, you know, I'm at the mercy of when they say it's ready. I said, I know, but you're getting a full pump. We're getting you back out there. He's like, man, this is awesome. Like, you know, I'll be back out spraying tomorrow. I said, that's right. So that's what it's all about. Like it's not, people get so caught up about the repacking price over the full replacement of the pump. And it's like, what's more value to you? Saving a couple $100 there, or getting your machine back straight away, you're back spraying, and your pump's going to last a lot longer than just repacking it. And if you actually educate and you talk to the painters about that, most of them are going to make the educated decision and want it. Because like the first question they always ask is when they call, it's like, when can you look at it? Once you look at it, how long until you can fix it? You know what I mean? Like it's they want that quick. Like if you haven't noticed the world we live in, Uber, I want it now. Amazon, I want it now. You know what I mean? Everyone wants things like that because time is money. Money is tight. People want to save and people want to be making money all the time. So we think it's important for the painters. I mean, some painters may disagree. Other service centres may disagree. Other paint shops, we don't really give a shit. Quite frankly, because, you know, we always have painters' best interests at heart. Me being a painter, I'm always going to be in the bat for the painters until the very end. And Toddy, coming from the other side of the fence, dealing with customers, he knows how important it is to them as well. But, you know, just talking to that guy and how stoked he was, and the next morning just coming in and back out painting, he just thought it was the best thing ever. And yeah, it was a good experience. And sure enough, when we pulled his pump all apart, the cylinder was worn. You know, and the other thing is too, like forgot to mention this, is he's like, look, I've been the prime spray valve's been playing up a bit and I can hear it hissing, but it seems to be working okay. He goes, mate, if I'm going to have it back tomorrow, can I change my prime spray valve over? I said, oh, we can clean it out and see. He goes, no, I'm not mucking it. If I can get it back tomorrow, man, just do it. Then I've got a new pump, new prime spray valve. I'm ready to go. And yeah, well, we should be good. And yeah, so he was stoked. So we, you know, I feel like we have those experiences all the time.
From a service center's business point of view, it's like, go back to when we had 30, 40 machines lined up. It's like, how long is it going to take me to take those all out, strip them, clean them, rebuild them, put again? Like, we'll have four more machines in today, and I'll get 2 or 3 out because of all the distractions we get. Yep. It's like, how many pumps could I just go? Like, you can do your pressure test. Can it be fixed? Fixed. See it. Send it on its way. Can it not be fixed? Is it going to be rebuilt? Yep. See you later, on its way. It's like you can go through 10, 20 machines in a day, whereas, you know, so you don't need 85 techs, you know? But it's like, that to me is, you know, this is the thing that businesses lose focus of. Like, I was unique in the sense where it was like, yes, I don't get incentivized for selling paint, but this system will improve the likelihood that 1, will have a returning customer, but 2, they're back putting paint on the wall. That's all that matters. And it's like, but it's like, we're in this world where it's like, that's not my job. It's not my job, you know. My job is to sell machines or to fix machines. So it's like, I'm going to fix as many machines as I can, you know, so I always have work to do. And it's like, no, bro, it's not about that. It's about helping the customer, get back to doing what they're supposed to be doing, making money, so they can keep buying paint forever, and their families and businesses aren't put under stress. Because that's better for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. So yeah, that's our take on repacking versus replacing the pump. Now, just to add on to that, obviously, there is some pumps that can't be replaced that need to be repacked, but with us, if it can be replaced, it will be replaced. So yeah, that's another awesome episode in the books. Yeah, I will just say one thing as we are heading into October. We have our October special hitting the market, which is a free upgrade from an SGC3 to an SGC4. So you'll be getting that SGC4 at that SGC price. Yeah, so like a bigger motor, bigger pump, upgraded circuit board. So yeah, that's a great special to be taken advantage of in October. It is only running in October while stocks last. So yeah, you'll be able to get it online, in at the Spray Gun Club or at one of our distributors. So reach out if you're interested in that. And we do have more specials coming up at the end of the year and some new product launches, which is exciting. So until next time, keep spraying.